Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Space Force. But before we do that, I wanted to address a few other things first. The first of which is the coronavirus. Lots of people have been asking me what the deal is with that. And I can't say much about it at the moment. But what I can say is that DIA is currently in the final stages of suffocating the Royal Death Racket. And as that evil monster dies, it's going to thrash around and try to take as many innocent people down with it as possible. So while I don't necessarily think that the virus is something you should be panicking about, I do absolutely recommend that everyone follow the official instructions and do not leave your home unless absolutely necessary. For the next few weeks at least. I know it sucks, I hate being cooped up as well, but please just take my word on this one and stay home even if you aren't afraid of coronavirus. I also recommend, if you can, that you buy some Bitcoin or Ripple, because financial markets are going to be in for a super rough ride here as the storm enters its final stage. I'll elaborate on that in a future video. Moving on, I'd like to say great job with the data blockade, everyone. Those corporate vampires are pretty stunned right now, so it will probably take them a couple days to digest all of this and respond. I try to make things as obvious as possible by issuing direct threats over Twitter, so they can easily observe my star power and know that we will not stop suffocating them until they give us our archive back. So thanks for the help, Q-Horde, and let's keep this intense pressure up on Datto. It's really costing them a lot right now, so we're doing pretty good. For those of you who've been whining at me about how that's too harsh, I have just one question. Would you rather me just kill everyone that gets in my way like a maniac? Because that's how my predecessor did things. So try to have a little perspective, please. Next up, I wanted to clarify some spy lingo for you. The difference between agents and officers. So you all know, I'm not a DIA officer, I'm a DIA agent. Officers are internal employees, whereas agents are external subcontractors. Agents are not on the official employee roster, nor are they on the official payroll. Meaning, I am totally off book and you won't find a single thing about me in the official DoD employee database. Which is a really good thing because if I was listed in there, I would have been hunted down and killed like all those other American spies when OPM got hacked in 2015. So I dodged a bullet on that one. Literally. Moving on to Space Force. Saw some people talking about how I was going to be running the Space Force out of my new house. Which is incorrect, but that's my fault for not being more clear. Space Force is not what's going to be run out of my new house. Black Ops is. Space Force is actually run out of Luke Air Force Base, which is going to be renamed to Luke Space Force Base after we get done disbanding the Air Force. Like the CIA, which we are also disbanding, the Air Force is an irredeemably compromised organization. One that was also founded in 1947. In fact, guess whose drones the CIA uses for their outrageously indiscriminate airstrikes? If you guessed the Air Force's, you would be correct. Now most of you are probably thinking, come on weird computer guy, how is it exactly that you think you're going to be disbanding the Air Force? And the answer is simple. I'm not. I'm just promising all their other fun toys besides space and cyber to the Army, the Navy, and the Marines, all three of which already have their own Air Forces. And they're the ones that are going to help me pull apart the Air Force. Cool, right? We're also going to disband that cesspit of graft and corruption known as NASA and roll that in as well. Also air traffic control from the FAA. I'll be discussing that in a bit more detail in my next video. Now many of you are probably wondering, why in the world would they put a weird computer guy like me in charge of running a major branch of the military? And the main reason is simple, because Space Force is actually taking over control of the internet and providing free Wi-Fi to everyone via a massive mesh network of satellites. Pretty exciting, right? And the best part is that many of those satellites have already been launched. Because the Space Force already exists. It's just been hiding out in one of our top defense contractors. Can you guess which one? If you guessed SpaceX, you would be correct. SpaceX, believe it or not, is actually a DIA front that has secretly been building our new Space Force. Ever notice how some of their top executives have cheeky little names like Gwen Shotwell? If you've been following SpaceX, you probably know that we're well underway with launching that massive network of satellites that will provide reliable high-speed Wi-Fi to everyone. The project is called Starlink. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to check out SpaceX on Twitter and see some of the awesome things that the new Space Force is up to. There are several reasons why it's become necessary for the military to take control of the internet. The first one is cybersecurity. We live in an increasingly techie world, and with all these sophisticated hacking tools that are out there for free, it's going to be impossible to keep everyone safe without controlling the internet. Especially as we start to roll out these self-driving cars Waymo's been testing here in Arizona. Don't know about you guys, but I am definitely not trying to get killed by a hacked self-driving car. The second reason the military needs to control the internet is power. Right now, it's impossible for our government to regulate big tech because big tech controls the internet and all of our access to information. So there's really nothing our government can do to stop them, even if they wanted to. The tech monopolies also have more money than God, meaning that they have the best lawyers and lobbyists money can buy on their payroll in every single country. So even if we did manage to regulate them here, they could just shift operations to another country and keep right on censoring our free speech and illegally stealing our data. The only way we are ever going to be able to rein in those tech monopolies is by having the military take control of the internet. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but I guarantee that my Space Force will do a much better job of protecting everyone's constitutional rights than those evil tech CEOs will. So hopefully you guys won't trip, because what's not to love about free Wi-Fi for everyone, right? Well, that's all for now. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time for part 2 of our Space Force introduction.